air. Your muscles should be on fire. You should feel like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. But here's my kind of but with that. It shouldn't be so hard that you can't do another interval. So you have to really find the balance. One of the things that I linked in the post is a calculator that I use to kind of help me determine paces. I explained it in the post, but that's a really good one for you to kind of zero in if you are somebody who's running on a treadmill, or you need your Garmin to tell you how fast you should be going. Some of those are really good indicators and help you decide on that pace. So it should be hard, really hard, but not so hard that you are so spent at the end of the workout, not so hard that you get injured, not so hard that you can only do 1 or 2 or 3 intervals and feel like you can't do another one. So I hope that makes sense. So when you are training, kind of the first running workout that I would add in is some speed work. The second run that's kind of a keystone is called a tempo run. Now, tempo runs have tons of different definitions, but the ones that I'm most familiar with, and the ones that help me and the way that I think about tempo runs, are comfortably hard. That pace is one that you can sustain for a prolonged period of time. Sustaining meaning, if you're going by time, 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you're going by miles, 4, 5 miles, depending on the distance that you're training for. What tempo runs do are they really start to train your body to hold a certain pace for an extended period of time. When I'm using tempo runs, I do all of my tempo miles at the pace that I want to run my race in. So for example, I'm running a marathon on Saturday. I hope to finish that marathon around 3 hours and 15 minutes, which would mean that my pace per mile would be 7 minute 26 second pace miles. So I would be running in those with that pace. So when I did my tempos, when I was training, when I would have a tempo run, and my longest tempo run in this training cycle was 10 miles, I would run all of those 10 miles around that 7:30 pace. Doing so really gives your body some time to adjust to that pace. It starts to feel, believe it or not, easy toward the end of your training cycle because you become more efficient at it. You built in that endurance. It also helps you know if you're picking a pace that's appropriate. If when you're starting your training for a race, your tempo run feels super, super easy, then it's too slow. On the opposite end, if it feels too hard, like way too hard, like you're gasping for breath, like you can't sustain it, you're stepping off the treadmill or you have to slow down, then you picked too fast of a pace. So tempo runs, the way that I look at them, and there's lots of different calculators and ways of kind of doing this, the way I look at them is I think of a tempo run as my goal race pace. So if it's an 8:30 mile, you would run a few miles at that pace. And again, it really helps your body adjust to the pace that you want to run it an extended period of time with, and helps you kind of know, okay, is my goal realistic? Am I being too easy on myself, or am I being too unrealistic, too hard on myself about the pace that I'm choosing? Okay. And then finally, there's long runs. And long runs are runs that are about... They make up about 20% of your training cycle. So for example, if you were running a 50-mile week, 10 miles would be your long run, if that makes sense. So a long run really is just that. It's a long run. It's a run that is going to be longer than your normal runs. It's typically done on the weekends because you have more time for it. And it is usually recommended, especially when you're starting out, to just do your long runs at that easy pace. The point of a long run is just to spend more time on your feet and to get your body acclimated for running for a longer period of time. And just like all of those benefits that you had with easy runs, you have all of the same things with the long runs. You are improving your VO2 max, you are developing your tendons and your muscles and making sure that they can adjust to the training. You're doing all of those things in your long runs, but you're just spending more time doing it. So in a long run, without you probably not even needing to be said, really helps you with your endurance, and it helps, eventually you'll start to think, okay, whatever, this 4-mile run that used to feel like a really long ways for me now feels like a walk in the park because my long runs are 8 miles on the weekends. And so long runs really help you build your base. They help you spend more time on your feet, and they are kind of, they're also like when you're training for a big race, like a half marathon or a marathon, mentally, they're really confidence boosting runs, because when you run longer distances and you know you can do it, when you walk into the race, you know that that's going to be something that you can handle. Okay, so those are kind of my thoughts on the different types of runs. Scheduling. The way that now I've been running for a long time, and I've been kind of in multiple training cycles. I do my speed work early in the week. So I usually do my speed works on Mondays or Tuesdays. And then I give myself a day or two to recover. So that's easy runs or a rest day. And then I do a tempo run kind of late midweek. So Wednesday or Thursday are typically my tempo runs. Then again, I either rest or I recover or I do an easy run, and then my long runs are done on the weekends. And I just follow that schedule kind of like clockwork throughout the year. When I'm not training, my long run might just be, and I know some of you are saying might just be, but it might just be 10 miles. It might just be 11 miles. It's not going to be 15, 16 like some of mine are in when I'm in the marathon training cycle. But I do keep up with the speed work, the tempo runs throughout the year, because number one, I'm used to it and I like the variety, and I know that the variety in my running is going to help me from being injured, is also going to help my body continually improve in my running. Okay, so I hope that helps. For those of you just starting out, my tip would be to start with speed work. When that starts to feel really comfortable and you want to add in another challenge, then add in a tempo run. And a tempo run could be, I'm going to warm up for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to run at that comfortable pace, the pace that I'm hoping for in my race or my goal, for 10, 15, 20 minutes, or you can do it by miles, whatever you want to do. And then also try to build in a longer run. Even if you're building your base right now, that longer run really, I kind of misspoke. That longer run really almost should be the first thing that you build in. So if you're running easy right now is the time to build in a longer run on your weekends. And longer just means that longer. It could be 10 minutes longer that you're going to start. It could be, I'm going to run a minute longer. Whatever longer feels like to you, start building that in, because those are easy miles. Those are easy paced miles. And, you can do that, and it gives you the same benefits that all of that easy running does. I'm sorry this video is so long, but I hope that you found it helpful. Tomorrow I'll post some more workouts, some specific things that you can try. And if you have questions or comments or things that you're thinking about, things that I didn't cover, please comment below and I will do my best to answer them. All right, enjoy your evening or your morning or your day or whatever time I decide to post this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.